It is 23 minutes past 7 here on ABC Central Victoria. And staying on the topic of sleep, what do you do to help you sleep? We heard from Kathy and June just a moment ago. I'd love to hear what you do to help you get to sleep on 0467 842 722. I listen to podcasts and TV shows. I'm off within about 5 seconds of listening to them. Now, you might listen to the radio, as we've just heard from Kathy and June, and if you do, then there is a radio station which is absolutely perfect for you, especially if you're having problems getting to sleep. John Watson is the creator of Sleep Radio, an internet-only radio station that broadcasts from Te Aurora in New Zealand. And it wants to put you off to sleep. Now, John, my job is all about waking people up, so why did you want to help people fall asleep?
Good morning, Sian. It's a bit of a long story, really, but I'll try and shorten it up. It's a situation where I had coronary artery bypass surgery about 10 years ago and never realised that one of the side effects of that is chronic depression. And I wasn't diagnosed until 2012 when I had to give up my career with the New Zealand Defence Force. And so, of course, the side effect of depression is insomnia. And I had a counsellor who recommended to me that I go and buy some relaxation CDs and try those and see if that worked for me, because I never have any trouble getting to sleep. Within 2 minutes, dang, I'm gone. But my problem is that I wake up in the middle of the night, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and just simply cannot go to sleep. And so the CDs were great, they worked for a wee while. I soon got sick of them, unfortunately, because you're hearing the same music over and over again. And so I did some research with some internet radio stations, and they worked well too for about half an hour until some guy, like the Harvey Norman yelling man, woke me up. And of course, you know, there were advertisements and what I refer to as annoying announcers. I'm sorry about that, Sian. But I thought to myself, you know, there must be something else I can do. And then I thought, hang on a minute, I've got sound engineering skills in my head. I know the internet inside out. I've designed websites. Why don't I create an online radio station that simply plays music that's conducive to helping people sleep? And so it started.
What kind of music do you play on your radio station? Or I'm just assuming that it's music. Is it music?
Yes, absolutely. One thing I very quickly found out was that my listeners don't like bird song, they don't like white noise, they don't like crashing waves, for example. So it has to be very, very slow, downbeat, ambient music that has no vocals in it whatsoever, very neutral sounding and very calming and soothing. And so that's the sort of music that we play, and it appears to work.
Where do you get your music from, John?
Well, I'm quite fortunate. When I first started the station, I was really hunting to try and find music that was suitable. But since we've been going 4 years now, we have a lot of ambient artists around the world who actually submit their work to us for airplay. We select probably around 5% of what we're sent, mainly because we have to vet every single track that we play, have to listen to the thing right through to make sure that there are no hidden surprises, because you'd be quite surprised. Some tracks actually come to us and they sound lovely for the first 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden there's a drum beat in the middle of it, or someone clashes some cymbals, and that's a big no. But we're quite fortunate. Our artists actually get sales because they can see that our listeners can actually see the track as it's playing on our website, can actually click on it and purchase the artist's work online.
John, I'm curious, what kind of feedback have you had from your international audience in regards to the radio station, which is specifically designed to help people get to sleep?
Well, honestly, the feedback has been fabulous. Occasionally we get the odd complaint comes through, but don't we all? People either like us or they don't. And my wife, for example, it doesn't work for her. She goes to sleep using talking books. But other people, it does work for them. And it's not a one-stop shop. I mean, as I say, it doesn't work for everyone. But I mean, as an example, we had a woman who got in contact with us a few months ago who said that her newborn baby was just 2 weeks old, wouldn't stop crying. She tried all the free basics like, feeding, burping, changing the nappy, all those sorts of things. But she downloaded our app, put it on her phone, put the phone beside her baby in the baby's crib, and the baby went off to sleep within 2 minutes and stayed asleep for 7 7 hours. So
my goodness.
Yeah, those are the sorts of success stories we love to hear. And you know, we have other testimonies from people all around the world, from as far away as Afghanistan and Japan, who say to us, wow, tried all sorts of things like sleeping pills, got addicted to sleeping pills, and managed to get away from those because of the music that we play. It's very rewarding.
I was going to say, it must be quite an interesting position that you're in, because you're motivated by your own situation to start this radio station, and now you're helping, it sounds like, so many people across the world. Did you realise that the lack of sleep was such a big problem for people?
It wasn't until I had the depression and then, of course, the insomnia side effect that when I did some research on, thanks to Mr. Google, I thought, man, this is a major epidemic worldwide, particularly nowadays, and people are working far more than 40 hours and their sleep is disrupted, and a lot of people work shift work, for example, and listen to us during the day, particularly when there's a lot of noise out there in the community going on, like lawnmowers and those sorts of things. But we've been absolutely blown away by how many people we've been able to help.
John, I think it's absolutely wonderful. Thank you for helping people around the world get a good night's sleep, and thank you for sharing your story and your radio station with us this morning here on ABC Central Victoria.
Lovely speaking with you.
That is John Watson, who's done a marvellous job at creating a radio station called Sleep Radio. It's an internet-only radio station that broadcasts from New Zealand, from Aotearoa. And if you'd like to find that radio station because you have problems sleeping, you can go to your search engine and type in Sleep Radio New Zealand, or you can basically go to sleepradio.co.nz. That's sleepradio.co.nz.